Well, greetings viewers and voyeurs, gothatfunk here in a video response to my good buddy Freethinker3161 and his recent video, the TSA and your naked body. How you doing, Freethinker? You know, we don't always agree, but we've always got along, and I'm sure that's going to be the case here. Having said that, I don't think you've ever made a video that I've disagreed with quite as strongly as I disagree with this video. You seem to be wanting to impose your values about your own body modesty on everyone else. I don't think you get to do that, and I don't think anybody does, frankly. Some people are incredibly self-conscious about their physique, and they have that right. Let me ask you this, Freethinker. You think that it's unreasonable for people to object to going through the full body scan at an airport, which will show what they look like without their clothes on. Now, in your video, you made the point several times of calling it a digital scan of someone's body, as if the fact that it's not photographically accurate or revealing makes it any less invasive. Come on, man. Are you fucking kidding me with that? Naked is naked is naked is naked, dude. Some people don't want to be seen naked by strangers. They've probably felt that way since they are 4 or 5 years old. Okay? It's not exactly unusual, and I think you'll find most people fall into that category about not wanting to be seen by strangers. Okay? In that regard. Now, for people who don't want to go through the body scanners, hey, good news, there's an opt-out. You can opt out and you can get a pat-down. Now, Freethinker, I was incredibly disappointed to hear you rabbit the phrase pat-down as if it's perfectly acceptable and normal, because a pat-down is not what it is, man. Let's call a fucking spade a spade. You're being frisked. You're being frisked like a criminal who's being arrested. You're being treated like a criminal when you've committed no crime and have given no reason to cause you to be suspected of committing a crime. Flying on a plane is not reasonable cause to suspect a crime. The fact that people are blithely waving away their rights doesn't make it okay. Basically, it's an illegal search. It's an unwarranted search. I'll put it that way instead of illegal. It's an unwarranted search. Okay? It's being searched without probable cause. I'm not okay with that. I kind of like the Bill of Rights. I don't think that private companies should be able to have rights that I won't give the fucking government. Are you kidding? Why are you so happy to let the government sort of dictate to people, you know, what their attitude should be about their own body when it comes to this issue? I'll embellish this question a little bit more. You know, I saw a comment on your video by Wine Is Your Friend. Nice guy, got no problem with him whatsoever, but his comment was quite common, and it's something I want to torpedo right now. When people say this about security issues, they say, well, if you've got nothing to hide, then what are you worried about? To anyone who says that, I say, fine, if you've got nothing to hide, give me your fucking password to your email address and the keys to your house. I promise I won't steal anything, and I promise I won't send any emails from your address. I'm just going to look. I'm just going to see. I'll just look around. I promise I won't take anything. I swear. You can kill me if I take something. How's that? Just give me your keys. And just let me look through your emails. I'll tell you what. Why don't you take off your clothes and I can see your naked body. Just, you know, just nothing to hide. Just let me see it. I think I made my point. Now, Freethinker, I'm going to give you a little social experiment here, and I really, really hope that you'll take me up on this at least one time. At least once. If you think that people are being unreasonable because they object to being frisked, or they object to having a stranger look at a digital image of their naked body, you think that's unreasonable? Well, try this out, mate. Next time you're in the supermarket and you're standing in the line, see how close you can get to the person who's standing in front of you. They won't even be looking at you, but I can pretty much guarantee you that even though they're not facing you, you won't have to touch them before they turn around and act uncomfortable because you're getting in their personal space. If people are going to be uncomfortable, and quite understandably so, about someone standing too close to them, how much more uncomfortable might they be by strangers touching them in a personal way? Come on, man. It's not unreasonable to object to it. It's unreasonable to roll over for it. Now, I know that several people have quoted the Benjamin Franklin quote that those who are prepared to give up their liberty for security don't deserve liberty or security. And, and you sort of seem to want to brush that off as, hey, this isn't too much to give up for what you're getting. Well, I don't really accept that we're gaining any security for this. And more to the point, I know this is kind of me invoking a slippery slope here, but let's just take this a little bit further. Supposing that these machines get installed at all 2,000 airports in America, and lo and behold, we don't have any terrorist attacks on airplanes, or any attempted terrorist attacks on airplanes, even. Okay, but someone lets a bomb off in, I don't know, a football stadium or a crowded shopping mall on a Saturday. What would you like to bet that there will afterward be a clamor to have these machines put into stadiums and or shopping malls or any place where there's going to be a security risk, a genuine security risk where hundreds of people could get killed? Because if a bomb goes off in a football stadium, sure, you're going to lose scores of people, maybe hundreds of people in the blast, but many more will die in the melee of confusion and panic of trying to get out of the stadium. Same is true in a shopping mall to a degree. So, those are true security risks that already exist. They've existed ever since. But once you make it difficult to strike one thing, you basically are inviting other targets. You're never going to run out of fucking targets. When are we going to draw the line and say, no, I won't let you search me to go shopping. No, I won't let you search me to go into this football game. No, I won't let you search me to go on this airplane. Israel has pretty serious security risks, and they don't subject their citizens to this level of scrutiny. More to the point, I want to ask you another question, Freethinker. This is a genuine question that I hope I hear a response from you in video, but I'll settle for a comment response. Let me ask you this. This whole, if you've got nothing to hide, what's the worry about, right? Well, if you've got nothing to hide, then what's the problem with a cavity search? What's the problem with an actual naked body search? What's the problem? Why is that too invasive, but not a digital scan? Or is it not too invasive? Do you think that everybody should we just have random cavity searches? I mean, let's just play, like, for the sake of argument, and say that someone invents a pessary bomb, and a pessary bomb goes off on an airplane. Will you then submit to cavity searches because someone had a bomb up their ass? Really? Somehow I doubt it. So, I want to say one final thing. I moved to the UK in 1989, and back then the IRA was still pretty active, and for the first more or less 10 years that I lived in this country, there were probably 3 or 4 IRA bombing attacks on mainland UK and or in Northern Ireland. 3 or 4 a year, okay, for 10 years. And that went on, obviously, before I got here as well. There were bombing attacks several times a year for almost the whole of the 30 years the Troubles went on. And in that whole time, the British people remained stolid. They did not panic. They did not increase their security to outrageous levels. They didn't start vetting everybody who was coming over here from Ireland or following their footsteps or demanding their thumbprints at the airport. The only security measure that I ever noticed to fight against the IRA terrorism was London had all the garbage cans removed because terrorists were putting the bombs in garbage cans, which would then go off, and kill a lot of people. So they got rid of the garbage cans. That's about as far as they were willing to go to fight against the terrorists. But you know what else they did that I thought was really fucking brilliant and that we have failed to do thanks to George Bush and subsequent administrations, both here and in America? We started calling these terrorists warriors by declaring a war on terror. The IRA was never ever given that status. They were criminals. They were never treated as warriors, because to acknowledge that they were fighting a war would be to give some credence to this idea that they were fighting a war of attrition and a war to take back their country, etc., etc. You can't give these guys the status of warrior. They are criminals. Anyone who wants to kill dozens or hundreds of people is a fucking criminal. Yes, they're a terrorist, but they're basically a mass murderer, and they deserve to have the full extent of the law brought against them. But those of us who aren't criminals don't deserve to be treated like criminals in order to catch the criminal. I don't mind a little bit of scrutiny when I have to travel. Of course not. I understand the security risks. But I'll be damned if I'm letting myself get searched every time I go through someplace just because I want to travel. I would rather not travel. So, for those of you who object to this type of thing, whether you fly or not, I suggest if you really object to this type of thing, here's what you do. You write as many airports as you can think of, saying that you object to it. You write every single airline that flies in and out of that airport and say that as long as those scanners exist at that airport, you are not going to fly on their airline. Because trust me, if the airlines start complaining about this crap, as well as the people, they will do something about it. Because if we hit the airlines and tell the airlines we're not going to fly, they will do something about it. The worst thing we can possibly do is bend over and acquiesce and say, okay, fine, fine, fine. I don't care about my freedom. I don't care about my personal space. I don't care about my body integrity. You know, just go ahead and search me. Fine. I don't care about my freedom anymore. I want to fly somewhere.